Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yuri Folari. Okay, let me start by telling you about my guests this morning. In the Lagos studio here, we have Honorable Olusegun Olulade, APC Chieftain, National Secretary, Humanitarian and Social Directorate, APC Presidential Communications Campaign Council. Good morning to you. Honorable Olulade.
Good morning. And
much, also very well known as Elenia. You got to put that in there. Thank you for making time for us.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. And then we have in our Abuja studio Barrister Shehu Bashir. He is a member of the Media and Publicity Directorate, APC Presidential Campaign Council. A fine morning to you, Mr. Bashir.
Good morning, Mr. Yuri. Nice having you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed for making time for us. Okay, so we're going to be looking at, we've done it already. I guess we'll continue to do it because remember when it dropped, as musicians say when they drop a new CD, when the manifesto, the policy statement, call it whatever you will, the roadmap of the Tinubu presidential campaign, when that dropped, it was an 80-page document, and it highlighted, about 8 different areas. I think national security, economy, agriculture, power, oil and gas, transportation, education, and I'm sure health is in there as well. So we want to look at the fact that this is a pan-Nigeria agenda. I guess every presidential candidate has to have a pan-Nigeria agenda, but we look at this 80-page document that was presented. And yesterday, the presidential candidate of the ruling APC made a presentation to the business community in Lagos. Now, even though that's, if you want, a different subheading, but still, it would have come from the main document. There will be no variance between his presentation yesterday. Maybe it went in, zoomed in on a bit more detail, but we already have the 80-page Hope 2023 document.
Renewed hope.
Renewed hope, exactly. Yeah. And I keep on remembering that Hope 23 sort of rings with Hope 93. But then again, since it's 20,
it's renewed hope.
It's renewed hope. So tell me, if you will, Honorable Olulade, it is, you understand it to be a pan-Nigeria document, right?
Yeah.
Please.
Well, let me start by saying that when we talk about pan-Nigerian document, we should also look at who is presenting the pan-Nigerian document. Because when you look at other presidential candidates, they will also tell you they have a pan-Nigeria document that they are presenting. But who is presenting that document? That is the most important thing. We look at the personality of Asiwaju Shettima leadership that they are going to provide for us by the grace of God starting from 2023 upward. We look at Asiwaju, for instance, when he came into Lagos as a governor. Let me even go back to when he was a senator of the Lagos West Senatorial District. When he was elected in 1992 as a senator, it was that period that we have not Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, we have the Yar'Adua, the Shehu Musa Yar'Adua, then camp in SDP. And he has an agenda, he has a vision to become the president of the Senate. That was his vision, going to the Senate then. And when Shehu Musa Yar'Adua was disqualified, and they now have to resort to another primary and all sort of things, and we discovered that we have Chief MKO Abiola emerging as a candidate of the party. You will see that he was in support of Chief MKO Abiola, jettisoning, sacrificing that his own personal ambition to become the Senate president. That shows how pan-Nigerian he has always been. When he moved to the issue of governor of Lagos State, when he came here as governor, he assembled one of the best teams, if not the best team that Nigeria have ever seen till date. And we discovered that in that team, he brought in people from different states, from different ethnic background, from different religion background. Without looking at them, all his concerns that who can fix this job, the best man for the job. And that is what he's particular about. And that is why that team still remains one of the best in this country today. Now, coming to him, he brought in somebody from Anambra to be a commissioner of budget. He even, first of all, introduced that budget ministry.
Straight, yes.
Straight. It wasn't there before. He was the first governor to have done that. Now, he started with that. He brought in somebody from that. He brought in somebody from the North Central, Kwara, to be his chief of staff. So when you look at it, he brought in people from the North to be part of the government. He brought in people from the South to be part of government. He has always been, as a Democrat, he has always supported democratic structure. So when we talk about somebody now presenting a document, we will look at him as in, is this somebody who is religious bias? Is this somebody who is ethnic bias? Is he someone who always go for the best? And that is what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu
Indeed.
he is. And coming to his vice presidential candidate too, is someone who was governor for 8 years. Who, when he was governor, he was building churches. He was protecting the Christians in the state. He came in at a very tough time during Boko Haram. That is when he came into governance. He was not the one, he was not in government when Boko Haram started, even in Borno. But he came in that particular tough time, and was able to arrest the situation to, at least to his own capacity, to do so many things in the area of national security. When we talk about terrorism today, he is one man that has demonstrated his capacity to address issue of insecurity. Indeed. As he did in his state. And I'm coming to what they have put in there as a document. You will discover that this is a document that have addressed the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. We talk about a document that is addressing the issue of counter-terrorism, introducing all sort of technology into our security architecture. We know what Asiwaju did in Lagos when he was in Lagos. Before he came into Lagos, we know the security situation in Lagos. You can't even go. They will come and collect your cash from you in the presence of open during those periods. When you were sleeping, they were knocking at your door that you should open. They will write letters to some streets. If people have forgotten.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
It was crazy then.
And banks were not even operate.
Yes.
But when he came in with what we call the Security Trust Fund that addresses the issue of insecurity in Lagos.
Indeed.
Today, Lagos remains one of the safest states in the country.
Indeed. Even as troubled as we are.
As we are.
You got to compare it with what existed back then.
And considering the kind of population that Lagos that occupies Lagos. And so we have people who are vast, people who have an antecedent, people who are quoting facts and figures. Those were the people that are producing this document.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that sort of overview. Coming to you, Mr. Bashir, this presentation, essentially you have the campaign in that renewed Hope 2023 APC document that was released by the Asiwaju Shettima team. There's something in there for, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are. If you took the time to read it, you see that when we're using the expression pan-Nigeria, that's because there is nobody that can't own this proposal. Would you agree with that? There is nobody that's been. This document is really looking like a no one left behind kind of a document.
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, let me start by saying this. You see that book, that manifesto is what I call encyclopedia of good governance. Most people don't really understand exactly who Ashwaju is. But the very many people of us who are much more involved in good governance in the past will understand exactly what that book represents. One thing that you cannot take away from this manifesto is that it has touched almost every aspect of our life, if not everything. You see, the issue of good governance entails security, education, agriculture, health, and everything. I can assure you, if you are a professor and you are researching about good governance, you find a source of material in this book. If you are a medical doctor and you want to establish anything, you find something very useful in this book. What you learn in this book is that Ashwaju became a doctor, anesthesia, a politician, a lawyer, a doctor in almost everything. He understands the problems and he provided solution to the problems. It's not like he's just identifying the problems and keeping quiet and say, we'll do it. No. He has put down a laid down procedure through which these problems can be solved. And I can assure you, if you are going to make your decision, we are taking a decision to vote for who based on reasoning, based on superior argument, based on verifiable fact, based on doable policies. You can't but just listen and accept Ashwaju as the right person to lead this country come 2023. Let me also go to the issue of pan-Nigerianism. Sometimes the process of election is an all-comer thing that allows every Tom, Dick, and Harry to pick a ticket and say, I want to contest. If not, if you allow merit, sincere merit of antecedent to determine who contests, who does not contest, I'm not very sure on the scale of preference. Some people do not even have to, pick a form for governorship election, let alone Nigerian president. Nigerian presidential election is a very serious business. It's not just for everybody that just come and talk all kinds of, data that are not even implementable. But you know what Ashwaju has just done? He has shown to the whole world that this job is a serious business. I know how to do the job. I have done it in the past, and I have the capacity to do it. One of the best capacities to get the job done is to know who to pick for your job. Across the length and breadth of this country, I cannot pinpoint one single person among the aspirant candidates who can stand shoulder to shoulder with Ashwaju and say to him, he is more pan-Nigerian than Ashwaju, and I'll tell the person, no, you are not. Is this somebody that will post something on Twitter and for fear of reprimand will delete it? Or somebody that will go to a place of worship to incite mob action against a particular candidate? Who? Or somebody, an Ashwaju that will go to the north, or from the southwest, that will go to the north and say to the north that North understand the politics, the unity, the essence of unity in this country. And he understands that there's nothing anybody can do in this country if you don't unite the country. You cannot be running for the president of Nigeria and still be finding the embers of discord in this country. This contest is not a do or die affair, and Ashwaju understands that. The best thing that we need in this country at this point in time, like I do say to people, please, if you love this country and you are not making your decision based on sentiment of any unnecessary emotion, on objectivity, please, let's go for Ashwaju. And I can tell you, if you read this book very well, Action Plan for a Better Nigeria, I can tell you, you have no choice. Even if you want to write an exam, I have to consult this book on good governance. You have no choice but to go for this book. And let me also say this. This is very, very important. Talking about pan-Nigerianism. You can't doubt, you can't take one thing away from Ashwaju. Ashwaju is a fantastic talent hunter. And I do appreciate, I wonder how he chooses his men and how he even discovered them. And let me use my own case as an example. Not too long ago, since I joined politics, I've never had the privilege to even meet Ashwaju one-on-one until recently. From nowhere, I am just nobody from Kwara State. From nowhere, Ashwaju didn't know me from anywhere. The only thing that somebody saw and showed to him was just a piece of article that I wrote. Finding merit in that, calling that boy, and here I am today as a member of PCC. You can't respect any more in anybody than Ashwaju, who picks somebody from nowhere, provided he knows you can deliver. He doesn't care whether you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, you are a young man, or you are a youth, or you are an old man. He just wants your brain. And he has repeatedly said, this economy that is going to lead, this country that is going to lead, will be driven, will be intelligence-driven. He just wants to deliver. He knows exactly who should be the head of the police, who should be the head of the army, who should be the DSS, who should run this economy.
Okay, you know what? It's really. Bashir was saying that Ashwaju will take he will take somebody from anywhere. It's not anywhere. It's Nigeria. It's Nigeria. But anywhere in Nigeria, it's like he doesn't, he doesn't make a distinction between Nigerians. And I think that has been said. And also, in fact, so much so, perhaps certain people believing that, look, if a person is my person, then I expect a certain kind of
patronage.
Yes. But the man is saying that, look, of course, but there is talent across the length and breadth of this country. Yeah. And this is not just an election season attitude. As you started off by saying, it's been there for people who might not have seen it at the time. They might have seen it as something of a quirk, but here we are. In fact, I think it's the only state, Lagos that you mentioned, that he started this particular leadership drive with, and it continues to date. And I'm not sure too many states have grabbed hold of it. I don't, such a crucial, ministry as the budget ministry, he put somebody who isn't even from Lagos State in there. So it's not so much where you come from as what's in your thinking, what's in your head. Are we thinking in the same way? I guess that must have been foremost on his mind.
Yes, and that's one of the things that we're trying to say here, that that is what Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu represent. He met me in 1998, not nobody, I would say a nobody. And I've been a two-time member of Lagos State House of Assembly to the glory of God. And from 1998 that he picked me up, you can see my life. That is the kind of person that he is. He's just looking for who could deliver.
Yes. When you say your life, I'm sure you mean your life of service. Because that's important.
Yes, my life of service.
Important.
That's what I'm trying to point out.
A life of service.
Yes, because that is what he saw in me.
Because people say the man is a workaholic.
He is.
When it comes to the Nigeria project.
This is a man that don't sleep until 4 a.m. every day. You see different people from different nooks and crannies of Nigeria coming to meet him for different issues, and he's standing up to protect and defend whatever injustice that is meted to those people. So he's such an individual. So when we look at what he has done and look at this, the document, the manifesto,
sure.
You mentioned 8. I know it's good, the other needs. 8. We have, for instance, we have the oil and gas. We have the transportation. We have digital economy. He was talking about digital economy. We have sport, entertainment, and culture. We have youth empowerment and entrepreneurship. We have the social program, where my directorate, being the first in the history of this country, that any campaign organization will have a directorate for humanitarian and social, meaning that this is his own personal project, which is so much cherished because it's a philanthropist, it's somebody who is passionate about social intervention, about humanitarian gestures that he was known for, that he has always been known for. So when you look at him, now putting this in his document, that he's going to expand whatever thing we have on ground now, he's bringing in new dimension into our social intervention in this country and humanitarian drive. He's talking about judicial reform, that we know that that is what he did when he was in Lagos as the governor of Lagos State, when he was talking about federalism and decentralization of power. Yesterday at the the town hall meeting that he held
With the business community.
with business community, he was talking about the local governments. He was saying that, look, we need to decentralize. We need to shed power from the federal and give it to the state and the three tier of government in Nigeria. And that is the kind of person that he's talking about. He's talking about foreign policy. And those are the things that the man have in mind. This document is a document that I believe that every man, everyone in Nigeria that is talking or thinking about good governance in this country must have and must support. And that is what Ashwad Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Shettima is providing for us in Nigeria.
Mr. Bashir, I interrupted you then, and I saw that you were about to make a point. So maybe you can now go back to it. You know, the almighty commercial break, it get as it be. Perhaps you'll understand. We don't joke with it. Sorry about that. Please go ahead now.
No problem. You don't have a choice anyway. I was going to add something that is actually very key. You know, this election is I put it in 3 categories. Okay, how it's going to be determined, and I'm going to say it's going to be determined by the super elite. Those are called super elite, the elite, and the non-elite. And I want to tell you, this manifesto is speaking to the 3 categories. The super elite are those in areas of business, those in governance, those in everything, who are already made. But those notwithstanding, who are interested in who becomes Nigerian president, their mind might have been made. They might still be contemplating whether they will make up their minds. This proposal, this manifesto is speaking to them. The elites are those that are called those who don't have a decision yet, who are ready to be convinced to make their decisions. Okay, we have a lot of them in our youth. Then the non-elites, some of our people in remote areas, in rural areas, in villages, who are not even on social media. This is speaking to them. Now, this is where I'm saying, when I talk to some of my friends, I say to them that you may not know how useful you will be to Nigeria tomorrow. Don't join the bandwagon of those, talking down about this country. The future of this country is too important to everybody that we can't afford to say anything negative about it. And I said to a friend that probably Ashwad Bola Ahmed Tinubu is watching you somewhere. You might be the next minister tomorrow. Just make sure you know what you are doing and you respect this country. And let me tell you one thing. Ashwad Bola Ahmed Tinubu is so prepared for this job, such that most of the time that you hear some things from the opponent, from the opposition, you expect him to react in such other, same way as they. You see, the man will just look away and just face his business. There's no amount of, the first quality of a leader is that no matter how hot the contest has become, you remain calm, prepared, intelligent, and focused. While others are looking for some kind of pettiness on his own part, is engaging all the necessary stakeholders. Just yesterday, he was in Lagos to meet private sectors. You and I know that when it comes to determining the future of this country, we cannot underplay the importance of private sectors. Actually, he's meeting them. These are critical stakeholders. When he needed to go to the north, he met those that matter in the north, provided that this is the right way to engage the Nigerian populace. When it's time for him to go to everywhere, he doesn't go to anywhere and churn out some false data, some arrogant statements or anything. No, he goes there to talk to the heart of people. He tells the whole world how very, very important Nigerian project is. And let me say this very, very key at the same time. You see, a lot of times, so many people are, looking at this country as if we can't be better than this. This is not where we are. We are growing every day. It wasn't this good. Now it is better. We are going to the best. So what I want everybody to know, as far as this election is concerned, is that Ashwaju represents the future. It is not just about yesterday. It's about tomorrow. He understands what Nigeria is all about. Okay. He's so concerned about Nigeria. Mm-hmm. He wants the best for this country. He has every reason to be concerned. He has been a Democrat for over 40 years. And there's nothing anybody can say to Nigerian electoral process today that Ashwaju is not involved in terms of how democracy even came back to this country.
All
And
right
you
then.
cannot underestimate the preparedness of this person. I don't want to gamble with Nigerian future. Every other person going to have any other person, apart from Ashwaju, is like gambling with Nigerian future. Because let me say this, lastly, I don't want to vote for a candidate who is so interested in his business estate, who lost a business estate to government policy, who probably want to recover it back for one reason or the other. We know what happened to Intel. I don't want to vote for a candidate who is only interested in recouping the 1 billion naira he lost to whatever other party in lowering anything. I want to vote for a candidate who is not selfish about his contest, who is not selfish about his future, who doesn't have anything to reclaim having lost. He's just focused on Nigerian future and we want to consolidate what the present government has achieved moving forward to make this country great.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Shehu Bashir. He referred, and you did too, Honorable Ladi, you did too, referred to his meeting yesterday in Lagos with the organized private sector. Yeah. You saw all the movers and shakers of the economy there. Yeah. And Ashwaju has, it's in that connection that I remember that he has actually, promised that, look, that is so, no, he's restated his commitment to double-digit GDP. And it just follows a lot that Bashir has been speaking about when you believe in the Nigeria project, you believe that, look, you can bring ideas to it, and you can also bring people to execute the ideas wherever they happen to come from. It doesn't matter where they come from. The important thing is to have a plan, to have a roadmap. And I guess, say whatever you want about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, nobody is querying his thinking. When the man puts it down, say, look, this is, I mean, he's not saying he's doing it alone. Yes. Of course, he has his team, but the thinking is crucial. And he was saying there, and I particularly grabbed hold of that double-digit GDP is a bold statement to make, and it shows the commitment he has to the country and how much he's going to work alongside his team. And this, if we're talking about GDP, it can't be GDP in the Southwest. It can't be GDP in the Northeast. It's GDP of Nigeria. Yeah. So everybody shall feel this.
Yeah, I was there yesterday, and when he made that statement, it doesn't come to some of us as a surprise. And we know he has the capacity to do it. When you even look at the team of young men that sat with him yesterday to address each areas of concerns, of Nigerian concerns, you will understand that this is a man that is well equipped and prepared for the job to be done. And when you look at what he said, this is Lagos, and here in Lagos, I was governor of this state before, and you know what I did. That is the kind of narrative that I want to listen to. My parents sent me to school. I went to university. I cannot be a dummy to be listening to somebody who says he's going to build something that he has never done before. He is saying, look at Lagos. Lagos economy, when it came in, Lagos was in near mess. Today, everybody comes to Lagos. From the north, from the east, from the south, wherever you are, even outside the country, the West African people are always taking Lagos as their home. When you go outside this country, when they are coming to Nigeria, if they are not coming to Lagos, they are going to Abuja. Mm-hmm. And that shows you something, that this is the Lagos that the man have created. We were celebrating the deep sea in Lagos, in Lekki, that was commissioned about a few days ago. And this is his dream. We are talking about Lekki Free Trade Zone. This is his dream coming to reality. When you look at the Eco-Atlantic, this was a dream coming to reality. So when you look at all those things, you understand that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu have that capacity, and he knows how to. In fact, sitting down yesterday, looking at the array of people that he has assembled as his team for the manifesto, and where people are asking different questions, and the way he was able to handle those questions, mm-hmm. and areas that he also have to challenge the thinking of even his team. And you know that this is a man that is ready to engage the public.
Indeed.
And he's engaging the public, he's engaging his team, and that is what makes his team to be extraordinary.
Welcome back. We're looking at the 80-page Renewed Hope 2023 document, which is a roadmap of the Asiwaju Shettima team, their goals, and really the sort of town hall meeting atmosphere, as we've just heard yesterday. That was a place for serious talk. You saw the audience, and these are audience that could, this was the kind of audience that you just asked all the questions that could be asked, you know, about the success of Nigeria economically. There were people in there who are, you know, practitioners, if you want me to put it like that, of the economy. They all were listening intently. I saw all the names. I don't need to be mentioning names because your picture is worth 1,000 words. You saw all those banking chiefs and all of that. But the other thing that caught my attention, and by the way, in case you're just joining us, my guests are Honorable Olusegun Olulade and Shehu Bashir in our Abuja studio. As much of a Democrat as Bola Ahmed Tinubu is, you know, you can't satisfy everybody. And I think there's a sense in which he himself is aware of this. You're talking about those that were with him back in the day when he was governor in Lagos. One hears stories that the man wants to be engaged. The man wants to hear from everybody. He will listen to contributions,
yes,
and then, you know, come up with a position. But the important thing is that it's a collaborative team. Now, in this connection, I remember that Asiwaju was promising there what has been captioned as a continuous open door for collaboration. And that's important because there are areas where you find some people coming out and expressing, you know, their opinion, wherever that is coming from, it doesn't matter. But because the man sort of expects this from what we've heard of those who have worked with, and he still has Nigeria as his main objective, that he left this door open. I like the way whoever captured it that way, that the door will be open for, yes, it'll be a continuously open doors. Now, in recent times, you've heard the hullabaloo about him, I think, over the weekend, presenting to Afenifere and, that becoming, a discussion point, But look, whatever the case, when I noticed that, I said, this man is just who those people who have worked with him closely say he is. Enemy of none. Say your piece, but if you want to talk about it, the door is open. Yeah. We can always talk about it. I don't know, that particular aspect of the man, you must have heard about it as well.
Of course, he is not fair. He's not afraid of criticism. He's somebody who is very, very open. If people like me can be engaging him in discussions and that will lead to argument and all sort of things, and he will just succumb to superior opinion in every aspect of his life. That is the kind of person that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is. He is somebody who is passionate as Project Nigeria. And in doing so, all he wants is the best man for the job. And in getting such a best man for the job, he needs to engage. He listens a lot, he engages you, and he will listen to you. Like he said yesterday, please, I am providing an open door policy. Come in, let's discuss, let's continue to engage ourselves. I will consistently engage you in the government, in governance of Nigeria. And that is what Asiwaju stands
for. When you look at his, one of his, God knows how many traditional titles he has, Jagaban Bogu. Yeah. Bogu is all that way away.
Yes, it's in Niger State.
Exactly.
So shows you,
but that a chief there, yes, through his friend, now of blessed memory, at the time, who said that, look, you've been so influential, instrumental here. to the national project that I'm going to give you. So it was more than window dressing, as we have seen on his campaign trail. In fact, there are those who are complaining, I think in the Southwest, that he spent far too much time up north. But it's all Nigeria to him.
Nigeria.
I spend all my time in the South here.
Yes.
Why would I spend time up north? So there's that aspect of it where I don't think you can fault the man's credentials when it comes to this matter of being a pan-Nigerian.
Yes, he's also a chief in the East. He's not just a chief in Yoruba land or in the North. He's also a chief in the East. That shows you the kind of person that he is. So he's open. He's open for discussion. He's open. All he's after is that Nigeria should be better.
Indeed. And let me take this to Bashir. He puts his money, so to speak, where his mouth is. It's not just about platitudes. And on the campaign trail, Nigerians have seen him, traverse the country where there are unfortunate incidents that have happened. He's been quick to help, even though that has met with some criticism from certain areas of the country. You know what I'm talking about. But it's wherever there's a need, he feels that there is thinking, there are actions that can address those needs. If you agree, I don't know, do you see this differently, or do you agree? Because he has spent a lot of time up north, doing good work, explaining his project to them, and
I think my answer has been affirmative, and let me say to you why I said this. You see, there's one very unique thing about Asiwaju. Beyond being a politician, he's a very, very compassionate politician. What people see as an opportunity to play politics, Asiwaju doesn't see like that. He's just being humane. Okay? Why somebody will go to Benue to condole with, flood victim for the sake of getting political patronage? Asiwaju doesn't think like that. Let me tell you why. Let me give one very simple evidence. Before the primaries, when there was this train attack, in Kaduna, Asiwaju was not even the flag bearer of APC as at that time. He cancelled his own birthday that he has planned for maybe probably for almost a year. He cancelled his birthday to visit the victim in Kaduna and donate to them. See, if I'm giving the needy something. If you somewhere you are thinking that I'm doing for politics, it's your business. Don't.
Okay. The network began to play up there.
Before. So why is it now that they are giving and visiting everybody? This is someone that will go the whole place and say, I don't give shishi. But now, everywhere there's flood, there are victims, he goes there. Asiwaju has been doing this long before now. There's so many several other things that he does that he doesn't even tell anybody. He doesn't even announce to the whole world. And please, permit me to go to this particular question that you asked my honorable there, which is very, very important, regarding the issue of Afenifere and a visit to the Afenifere in other states. There's one thing you can't take away from Asiwaju, except you are not the type that want to be convinced on the basis of reason. You see, Yoruba will say you can't satisfy enough a jealous friend. And this is where I see with Banjo here. With due respect to him, I have no reason whatsoever.
Okay, the network was playing up there.
Very important group. Asiwaju left Abuja for Ondo State to meet a group with the highest number of people in attendance. How can a single man say what he has done with the majority is a nullity that only him should be listened to? Who does that?
Okay.
When you see the way our elder statesman is reasoning, you will know definitely this is not politics. This is bitterness. This is animosity.
Okay, but the less we say about that, let's stay on track. I hear what you're saying. Let's stay on track. The track being that the Renewed Hope 2023 is a pan-Nigeria document. Nobody can feel that he's been left out of that document wherever you are. There's an interest that concerns you that the think tank has been addressing. And that's when Bashir, referred to that action at Ashwaju's birthday colloquium, which has been an annual event for over a decade now, something like that.
It's almost, it's over a decade now.
Yes,
It's over a decade.
I recall we were all gathered, at the event. The event had just about to commence. I think it was Governor Sanwo-Olu that now whispered the news to him. And
immediately.
That he came up with that decision that, you know what, we're going to have to cancel. We can't continue with this. Not with that kind of news. What are we going to sit down and hear and be saying here? And then he swung into action. Now, that happened where it happened. It happened in Abuja, the unfortunate hitting of the train.
It's between Kaduna and Abuja.
Yes,
Abuja.
Yes, but that within seconds, he had come up with that decision. Having been planning this for about a year, because as soon as you finish with one of those things, you begin planning for the next one.
Yes.
And that he could within seconds come up with the decision that, you know what, guys, I'm sorry, this event is cancelled. There is we are in mourning.
Yes.
We are in mourning, and I'm not going to sit here and be celebrating my birthday on account of that. That is part of also. Thank you very much, Bashir, for reminding me about that.
I appreciate Mr. Bashir,
Shehu
Bashir, for coming up with that.
Remembering
that event, because it was shocking to some people that, in fact, those of us that were there were just once it just walked in, okay, the program is about to start, and we saw the governor whispering to him, and the next thing he did was to go off stage and announce the cancellation of the program, and that shows you the kind of mindset that Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu has, and that, like I have said, this is what it does.
Indeed. Let me just go. Let me just go to him because we're running out of time, and well, I almost said Honorable Shehu Bashir, but let me leave the honorable out for now, because right now you're a foot soldier. It seems from what you've been talking about, your passion is that the team is ready to work to work at this. You're going to work at it, and you're going to walk the walk. I get that impression from you that you shall be carrying this wherever it needs to be carried, right?
Oh. Sure. Thank you so much. I was going to say one thing that is actually very, very important in our minds. The two most important things in our life today as a country, security and economy. And I know most of the biases that some of our people have probably against the APC is probably the misunderstanding about the situation of the economy and security, even though they appreciate less the effort and the progress being made in these areas. But let me say this to you for those who have read or who have not read. And I want to refer to everybody that has not read this manifesto. Should please go and read one. They will never be boring. They won't be bored, actually. Now, I should talk about how to tackle the security. I can tell you one of the basic problems of management is the inability of the leader to go in depth to the grassroots of those who have been given the assignment, the work to do. As a leader, if you cannot even know to the roots who is doing the work, you might not be able to monitor and enforce compliance into a certain ethics. Okay? Ashwaju is suggesting, and he has created a platform through which we can narrow down from top to the bottom who is doing what, so that there will be proper accountability. That is also in addition to the managing the security time through the use of technology and a special creation of what is called ABATIS, Anti-Terrorism Battalion. When a president candidate is suggesting that a whole battalion, a whole military battalion will be created to solve Nigerian problem, we should be laughing and be hoping that by the grace of God, may God spare our life, we are going to have a Nigeria of our dream. The economy,
indeed,
the most important yardstick through which they measure Nigerian economic success is through its forex. I can say this to you authoritatively that the greatest problem we have in this forex is not because Nigerian economy is bad, but because there are too many speculators, taking advantage of the volatility in forest management.
Okay.
To profit themselves ungodly and illegally. And Ashwaju has suggested they have to reduce the polarity in this sector.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there. I know you're fired up. You're fired up, and I understand it. But Barrister Shehu Bashir, I want to thank you very much for making time for us this morning. Member of the Media and Publicity Directorate, APC Presidential Campaign Council. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Honorable Lulade.
Yeah.
Here we are. I think we've. Well, the important thing is that people should get hold of that document, and you have the hard copy in front of you here, but it's also online. It's also online, so people, can just read it, and the people are saying that that's the thing to do. Okay, we'll just probably take a call or two and see what. But in the meantime, was there anything else that?
Yeah, he was talking about the economy earlier, and I need to address that also because Ashwaju spoke about the economy, how it's going to revive the economy, and he was talking about make the Nigerian goods. We buy Nigerian goods, and that is. He was even talking about even our vehicles. We made in Nigerian vehicles.
You must remember that we've been there before, back in the military days under Obasanjo, made in Nigeria.
Yes.
I don't know that
Operation Feed the Nation.
All of that, Yeah. So it's like, this is a reiteration, but these are different times
and different approaches will be introduced. So for me, I think he has his plan, like Mr. Shehu was talking about earlier. This is a man that have a long-term plan for this country, and he has been there. He knows what to do at every given time. He's planning for, and when you look at the national security that we're also talking about, he's telling us yesterday that they are going to employ more people into our forces, be it the military, be it the police force, and all other security apparatus must be well equipped with both human and equipment, material resources.
Let me take Mr. George, who has called in from Lagos, Ikeja. Good morning, Mr. George.
Yori, and good morning to your guests.
Yes.
Uncle Yori, first of all, let me please say this. As these campaigns go on, I would like to advise you to restrict callers to the topic of the day. It will not be a forum for people to vent their anger against one candidate or the other for whatever reason. This station is the only one that has the courage to tell people, call in and say what you like on this program. Nobody calls channels, Arise, AIT like that to make comments. So please, I want to be just a candid advice. I have read the manifesto, and it is one of the reasons why I have great respect for Ashwaju. Because you look at his antecedents, even in this campaign alone, Uncle Yori, check the few choices of appointments he has made. The deputy, the governor, the vice presidential candidate, for example, he was the third most performing governor in Nigeria in a rating that was carried out when he was governor. And he was governor throughout the 8 years he was governor. He was operating in a war zone. They will build infrastructure. Boko Haram will destroy the next month. The following month, he will rebuild it again. If you go to Borno State, even as we speak today, that state is higher than more than 27 states in Nigeria in terms of economic and infrastructural development in the midst of a war. And you see how classic he speaks. Look at the campaign council spokesman he has picked. There's one of them, Uncle Yori, that you have not brought to us. A lady. If you hear her speak, you will marvel how they managed to pick her. She's from Katsina State. That is the way that a leader selects people. He knows how to pick the right people for the right job. You heard what the other guy who was on Skype or who was in your Abuja studio said. He never knew they were going to pick him to come and do this job. He never expected it. but his ability threw him off, and it's on him. This is the way that this man works. And I believe if we give him a chance, he will turn Nigeria around. I've given myself a pet project that I am going to convince 1,000 of people who follow me or who I interact with to go out and preach this manifesto to people.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mr. George, for calling in. In fact, our time is used up this time because we're going to stay on this. It's the political season. But let me just use the time left to thank you very much, Honorable Segun Odulade, and our guest in Abuja studio, Barrister Shehu Bashir. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for making time for us this morning.
Thank you for having me once again.
Indeed, that's our pleasure. Okay, so that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.